Welcome everyone, I'm Scott from Beyond the Fan, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about, is the VeVe bubble going to burst? Today I'll be covering some thoughts around why it might be the case, some counterpoints, and in the end I'll be giving my final thoughts on it and what we should be doing going forward. Stay tuned. So why do people think that the bubble could be bursting? Well, it's down to the cost of collectibles and comics on gems, and in fact that there's been a huge dip in the comics in terms of their cost on the secondary market, and for some of the collectibles as well. So we were in a point now where some of the commons for just the normal variety of comics, some of the collectibles were really high, quite high prices. People were buying in, we were really excited, and the kind of market for it was getting pumped up. And now we seem to be in a bit of a different, not a recession, but we're in a different point now where the cost of collectibles and comics has gone down, and it's making people think, well, actually, what's going on here? Is my collectible, my comic, not worth as much as I thought, particularly for those people who paid at a higher price compared to now? The counter argument I've heard to that is something really quite simple if people take the time to kind of understand the situation. Is I'm scrolling through the VeVe website, just giving you some of the indications of some of the drops that's happened just this month. So a huge number of drops, and a lot of these drops, so the comics always cost 7 gems, but a lot of these other drops cost anywhere from 20, 30 gems up to 80, 90, 100 gems, and on the secondary market it can go for much more than that as well. So the reason why I bring this up and why it's important to consider is people on the app are trying to sell what they've got, or try and buy it and then sell them quickly to increase the number of gems and to try and undercut each other, the lower the prices. So particularly for the comics, people have realised there's a bigger market and a bigger opportunity to make gem profit on the collectibles, at least for some, compared to the comics. So people tend to spend their 7 gems, and if they're lucky to get a uncommon, rare, secret rare, etc., they then cash that out in terms of getting more gems by selling it. But if it's a common, or even uncommon sometimes, they tend just to try and get a quick sell, get the gems back. So even if you double the money in terms of gems, go from 7 gems to 14 or 15 gems, it's enough to provide them for 2 comics drops coming up. So what that's done is it's really kind of pushed down the cost of the collectibles and the comics in the marketplace. And as I said, that's natural. What I would say going against that is at some point the market will have to start picking up, I believe, and that might just come about from more and more users. So VeVe have stated that more people are joining the app, but there are more people here. But people have countered that by showing examples of bots being used and the impact that has on people getting drops. The bots get the drops much faster, ends up going to one person and really making a lot of profit for that one person. So it's really important to keep that in mind when we're discussing things. If VeVe could provide some transparent data on the actual number of active users and go into a bit more detail about how we're counteracting bots, I think people feel more comfortable with the marketplace just now in terms of the cost of things and who owns what. So it's really important to keep that in mind when looking at the price of gems, is how much everything costs. To recap, the cons are we don't know the accurate numbers of actual users on the app. It could be some bots, or a lot of bots, and actual people. We don't know the impact of the transfer to Mutable X to OMI, what impact that will have in the market, and we don't know in terms of what's coming up, what the future drops are. We're kind of hold our cards to our chest in terms of the actual drops coming up. So at the time of recording this video, I don't know what the next drop's going to be. Nothing's been announced yet. The pros for this are that it's an exciting place to be just now. It's very new to a lot of people, even people who've been here from the start. It's still a relatively new space, still a relatively small user base compared to other apps, other things out there. NFTs in general are quite new, so I wouldn't be overly concerned. The markets will go up and down. It will be changing depending upon how many people are trying to sell things, how many people are trying to buy things. Individual collectibles and comics will be different from the overall market trends, just again depending on demand and availability of supply. And once things open up in terms of the interoperability and things potentially appearing on OpenSea, potentially having things bought directed by OMI, by cryptocurrency for example, it's going to have an impact that bigger people with more money are going to spend more money on the app if they can use their crypto to buy it. So it's really important that we consider all these things. As I said, I'm not a financial advisor, it's just my thoughts and my ideas. Please do your own research, but I would always keep an eye out on the market. I would join the Discord, look at Twitter, join the Reddit, etc., just to see what people are talking about, and keep your eye on things and do your own research. So what I predict going forward is, just like with lots of different types of markets, things will go up, things will go down, and some collectibles will do better than others, and it's really just being careful in terms of how you choose to spend your gems and what you choose to sell and keep, and really be mindful of that going forward. So I'm not concerned at all. I do not think the bubble is going to burst. I just think we're in a down peak just now, and that will swing back up, and we'll go up and down throughout time. This is still, we've just celebrated the first year this month, so there's still a huge amount of potential to go, huge amount of growth in the future, and I'm not concerned in the slightest in terms of my gems, my collectibles. I only see long term things improving in terms of the gems and how much things are worth in terms of those gems. If you have enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really lets me know what people think in terms of my content, if you want more of the same. I've had some fantastic results with some of my videos, so please do check them out as well. If you want tips on the drops, incoming drops, or you want to find about some hidden gems on the VeVe app in terms of collectibles you should be picking up if you can. Again, it's just my own opinion now, but please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.